park the vehicle with the steering centered. Refer to your vehicle's maintenance manual and inspect the steering and suspension components for wear or damage. Correct any out-of-specification conditions and repair or replace any bent wheels. Then adjust your suspension leveling valve to obtain proper ride height. Install the push clamp so that it applies light outward pressure on the tires in front of the kingpin. Place the floor target behind the vehicle, centered within ±2 inches of the vehicle's center line. Stand at the side of the vehicle and gun sight the floor target. Make sure it is within ±5 degrees of parallel to the rear axle. Thread the lug clamps onto the lugs until finger tight against the lug nuts. 2 clamps are required per steer wheel, 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom. Insert the tow laser assembly into the bore of one of the steer wheels. Aim the laser at the target and clamp the laser assembly in place. Measure the distance from the center of the steer axle to the floor standing target position behind the vehicle. Then, measure the laser dot position on the floor standing target as projected from the steer wheel laser on both sides of the vehicle. Open the Quick Align vehicle application and navigate to the Steer Tow tab. Enter the measurement values into their corresponding fields. Now move the floor target to the front of the vehicle, centered within ±2 inches of the vehicle's center line. If space allows, place the floor target the same distance in front of the steer axle that was measured behind the steer axle. Stand at the side of the vehicle and gun sight the floor target. Make sure it is within ±5 degrees of parallel to the front axle. Aim the laser at the target and clamp the laser assembly in place. Measure the distance from the center of the steer axle to the floor standing target positioned in front of the vehicle. Then, measure the laser dot position on the floor standing target as projected by the steer wheel laser on both sides of the vehicle. Enter the measurement values into their corresponding fields. If the pre-alignment measurements fall outside the specified limits, perform the alignment procedure detailed in your vehicle's maintenance manual. The lower right-hand corner of the window contains a guide for adjusting the tow angle of the steer axle. The cross-tube adjustment recommendation is generated from the pre-alignment measurements and the tie rod parameters. If the default tie rod parameters do not match the vehicle's tie rod dimensions, enter the correct parameters into the corresponding fields and the cross-tube adjustment recommendation will update accordingly. It is advisable to make the recommended adjustments even when the pre-alignment measurements fall within the specified limits, since the improved tow angle will result in decreased tire wear and fuel consumption. For the best results, bias the tie rod ball joints in the direction the tube will be rotated before loosening the cross-tube locking bolts. With the cross-tube protractor in place, mark the 0 point with a paint marker. Now loosen the cross-tube locking bolts and rotate the cross-tube until the paint marking aligns with the recommended adjustment angle. In general, a tolerance of ±10 degrees on the cross-tube adjustment is more than sufficient. For more details on the vehicle alignment application, continue watching the Quick Align training series.